What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Frank Warren. Frank Warren reveals the purse split for Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. He had this to say very easily, very calmly, like he does, without choking up. Frank Warren insists that Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is not a difficult fight to make, with both fighters expecting 50-50 split. Of course, the British boxers are on a collision course with hopes that all the heavyweight belts will be on the line if they face off in the ring. Fury first has to come through the trilogy fight with Deontay Wilder, while Joshua has to take on Bulgaria's Kubrat Pulev. But should they emerge victorious, then each man will have the opportunity to unify the division. Fury's promoter, Warren, is confident that the fight will be made and insists there should be no quibbling over the fight purse. Okay. He says it's not a difficult fight to make. Whatever is on the table is 50-50, Warren told Sky Sports. Fury is the number one heavyweight, but we don't see a 60-40, 50-50 down the middle. Once we get the offer that we're supposed to be getting, we'll be in position to sit around the table and knock it into shape. It's not about me or Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn's company, Matchroom. It's about getting the fight made. If we can't make this fight happen between us, then we've got to point the finger at whoever doesn't make the fight happen. I'm very excited at the thought of the fight, but both fighters have contracts at the moment. AJ against Pulev, Fury against Wilder, Part 3. If an offer came up that Pulev fight had to be avoided or our contracted Wilder fight had to be avoided, then we need to make that fight happen. Let's get it on. We've been waiting for various offers. Nothing has arrived yet. There have been ongoing talks. Okay. Let me counterpunch some stuff. First of all, Frank Warren is absolutely right. I think 50-50 is the amount. Why? Because Deontay Wilder, once upon a time, with his increased popularity to this day movement and the potential win over Tyson Fury, Eddie Hearn said out of his own mouth, like, hey, we're considering a 50-50 split for that fight with Anthony Joshua. He said that. He said that a few months ago. Matter of fact, I think he said that back in late January or early February. He said that. You know, it's a possibility that when he beats Fury, if he beats Fury, but it was more like when he beats Fury, he can get a 50-50 split. Well, Fury beat that man. Okay? So if Fury beat the man that you were going to offer to beat Fury, and you're going to offer him 50-50, you gotta offer Fury 50-50 now by default. Okay, so I don't think there should be any quibbling, like Frank Warren said, over the fight purses. Shouldn't be any 60-40. I don't see why it should be 60-40 at this point, because you've already offered Deontay Wilder 50-50, and Deontay Wilder, as of that time, as of right now, hasn't done anything but beat Luis Ortiz. So, no, it has to be 50-50 at this point. You know, but and another thing I do agree with Frank Warren about, someone has to be the blame if the fight can't get done. You got to wag your finger at someone. Why? Because whatever issues came up on why this fight, this mega fight between two British superstars, right, couldn't happen, didn't happen. Somebody's going to be the blame. And whoever is truly the blame, I think will lose popularity, honestly. If that fight doesn't happen because of, the split or the venue or this, if that doesn't happen because of that, somebody is going to have to take a strike down the face with a butcher knife. Because this is the fight everybody wants to see, in the heavyweight division at least. You know, this is the super fight. Fury has emerged to be better than Deontay Wilder in each and every way. Not only can he outbox him, he can knock him out. Anthony Joshua's got his belts back, becoming the two-time heavyweight unified champion of the world. So until Tyson Fury beats Anthony Joshua, he can't be really considered the number one best. Anthony Joshua, to really redeem himself, because he hasn't fought Deontay Wilder nor Tyson Fury, has to show himself who he really is in the heavyweight division. For that reason, both of these guys must fight. The sparring rumors, the history between the two, right? The back and forth over years. The fight needs to happen. So I agree with Frank Warren that the fight should happen. It should be 50-50. There shouldn't be any type of discrepancy, or issue over money at this point. We're going through a pandemic. People have lost a lot of money and a lot of confidence. So I think since sports was meant to be a distraction for other politics and other problems around the world, I think this fight should happen. These are world title belts. All of these particular sanctioning bodies, all 5 of them are on the line. And winner takes all. They'll probably fight again to make it interesting, just to make sure. Hell, Deontay Wilder's fighting Tyson Fury for the 3rd time. So why not a second AJ Fury fight? Why not? Let's see it happen. Let's get it done. I'm with Frank Warren. Is Tyson Fury the best? He has to prove it by beating Joshua. That's pretty much it on that. The fight purse is a 50-50. That's what he wanted to relay. The contracts of previous fights are on the table. So, of course, this is preliminary talks. But at least there are talks, But I just don't see how Frank Warren can say that the other side don't want it if there's no talking, if there's no negotiating. When you don't hear anything from the other side, that should tell you a shut-in. They ain't interested. They ducking. They don't want it. Whatever you want to take, however you want to look at that as. They don't want that fight. That fight is not on the table or a reality to that particular side that's not talking. They're both talking. So let that fight be what that fight's going to be, if that fight can happen. So let these guys focus on their opponents so they can get them out of the way so these guys can get it on. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.